Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg here in Las Vegas. Hope everybody out there is staying healthy and happy. Hank, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Well, I don't leave the house like you. We stay in the house a lot. It's like a constant quarantine.
I lost a game last night in college basketball. It was where Chris Collins is the coach. And he was coaching against a guy who they played together at Duke. And they were ahead with 1:38 to go. And this was, one of those games where the two conferences teams are playing against each other. And they were ahead by 5 points. They had the ball. They brought the ball up, and they were in a great position to win the game. All they had to do was get a good shot off, and this was Northwestern in Pittsburgh. And Northwestern had the ball, and the guy brings the ball up, and he's just standing far out from the basket, dribbling the ball around, and dribbling until time went down, and they took a bad shot and missed it. And I said, they're going to lose. Why would you do that? When you have possession with that little time left, work a play. And, I'm not saying don't use the clock, but don't just have one guy dribbling the ball, eating up the whole clock, and then taking a bad shot. And they didn't score again, and they lost.
Wow. What team, do you remember what team was that?
I just told you. It was Northwestern.
Oh, Northwestern, okay. Well, that's that crazy stuff happens at these games, there's no question.
Well, he's a good coach, Chris Collins. I couldn't understand it. They had the game, it was a heck of a game. They were going back and forth the whole game.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Well, we got a big football game tonight, which is the Patriots and Rams.
Number dropped to 4.5.
Yeah, and the total has come down as well, from 45.5 to 44 at this point. So you're looking at 4.5, and 44 on the game right now. The Patriots did a job on the Chargers last week, but they're not playing the Chargers this week. It's a much tougher defense.
Much tougher coaches, too.
Right. Now, this is a replay of the Super Bowl a couple years ago when Belichick beat McVay, and I think it was like 13-3 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they, if you recall, they won the game on I think, if I'm trying to remember, there was they won the game on a long passing play.
That's right. That was a very sleepy Super Bowl for sure. But this is a big. McVay said right after the game, he says, "I was out-coached."
Yeah.
This is I don't know.
This game is with New England. They have no passing game at all. I mean, the quarterback, Cam, is horrible.
I know.
Last week he had 69-yard passing. The week before he had 80 yards passing.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they have no passing game. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a fact.
Unreal.
Last week, New England had 2 scores on long kick returns. And, of course, they were playing against a team that has a horrible coach and is just giving up. Cam had 2 rushing TDs last week, but and they have, a couple of good running backs. But the Rams, I think the Rams last week got caught in a sandwich game. They had won a big game the week before, and what happened was I thought I didn't think Goff. Well, Goff threw the ball 46 times. That's not their game.
No.
They need to use Henderson and Akers to run the ball. He's got Higbee, Woods, and Kupp to throw the ball to. the Rams defense specializes in stopping the run, and they've got the two best defensive players on the field. And the Rams should win this game. They've won 3 of their last 4 games.
I favor the Rams in this game as well. I don't understand this line move. It's crazy. It was 6.5. It's now down to 4. It's they must be betting Belichick over, because the team the team itself doesn't. The Rams are better. Not that there's much home field.
I mean, New England does have a decent defense, but the Rams, I think, will be able to run the ball against them. And the strength of New England's defense is really in their secondary, in their pass defense.
Yeah, this is. I'm looking forward to this. Should be a good game to watch. We've got some big games this week because we're getting down to the end of the season, and a lot of these games have playoff implications. Coming up on Sunday and Monday. Not the Dallas Cowboys and the Bengals. That's not very good. The Giants have moved themselves.
That guy. I mean, they are so poorly coached.
Oh yeah.
Why would you keep trying field goals of over 50 yards when the guy can't make them? That makes no sense. And by the way, Dallas wasn't playing that badly. The quarterback made a couple of plays. They were running the ball well. They were in that game. And if it wasn't for the missed field goals, they probably would have covered.
Yeah, this is there's a lot of very poor teams in the NFL this year, and
well, I mean, there aren't many more poor teams in Dallas.
No,
who hired the wrong guy to coach it. They're They're a worse coach team right now in football, except for the Chargers.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. I never thought much of Mike McCarthy, and he had one of the best quarterbacks in the business in Aaron Rodgers, and there was that he didn't do as much with that as he should have. But Jerry Jones is an old school guy, and I think he wanted to go that route instead of going with a young guy that had some of these coaches. I mean, like the Giants Judge is doing a great job with the Giants. They play Arizona this week. I don't know. Murray doesn't look like he's fully healthy with that shoulder, but I don't know that for sure.
He's not getting any help. They've become single-dimensional. They have not played well their last 3 games. Their defense is not playing well anymore. And Murray didn't do anything bad last week. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, he had the big pass that won a game for him. But they really hit the wall. And I think, they got a little bit of a running game going with when Murray decides to run with it. It's not Murray. It's, the top receivers are hurt. And that doesn't help them any. They just, at the last 3 games, I think they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. So, and you can't blame it all on Murray.
The Minnesota Vikings against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a very important game to both of those teams. We're all waiting for Tom Brady to get in sync with the rest of the team and that all gel. But is it a coaching? Is the coach and the quarterback in sync down there in Tampa?
I think Tampa Bay right now has a bad coaching problem, both on defense and overall. Brady is not getting along well. Brady doesn't. Brady will make a good pass every now and then where he looks like the old Brady, but I think the defensive coordinator is highly overrated. All he does is keep blitzing, and every time he blitzes, he gets burned. Tampa Bay is given 6.5 points is too much for me. I think, Cousins right now is playing well. He's got Jefferson and Thielen, who are two really good pass catchers. And, Tampa Bay has a little problem right now in the secondary. They've got injuries on their defensive side. And, they got, see how many times the running back, something that Minnesota has won 5 of its last 6 games.
Yeah, they're 6-6 on the season, and this is a very important game for them to try to get into the playoffs. So yes, I got some side noise here. That's what happens when you work from home in the COVID world. That should be a good game.
I'll tell you something, though. I think the other game we were talking about, the Arizona game. I think Arizona has, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, and now they've got to go play the Giants at New York.
Yep.
And the Giants right now are a better team than they are.
I agree.
The Giants are on a winning streak. They're very well coached, as you said, and they even with they had to change quarterbacks. It hasn't affected them very much, and their defense is playing great right now. But this is the first time I can remember the Giants being favored.
Actually, right now, at some of the books, it's 1.5.
Arizona's favorite. I'm sorry.
Right, they're favored on the road.
But the Giants right now, McCoy did a decent job. Ingram, Tate, and Shepard are good receivers for him. But the Giants have 2 running backs, Gallman, who ran for 135 yards last week, and Morris is running well for him. But Baltimore, now that I was looking it up, Edmonds and Drake are the 2 running backs who have not been coming through for him. And they've got injuries in their passing game. They've lost 3 straight and 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, that's... they shouldn't be favored, in my opinion. I think the Giants deserve to be favored in the game. And I actually bet the Giants took the number. Like I said, there's a lot of games this week that have a lot of implications. It should be a good week of football. Kansas City at Miami. Kansas City hasn't been pouring on the points this year like they did in the past. They've run the ball a little bit more conservative.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't understand. He only had 1 healthy running back last week, and he's obsessed with giving him the ball, number 26. And in the first quarter, early in the game, he carried the ball 7 times, and he was the target of passing on a couple of other situations. I mean, what's that all about? Hill didn't get a pass thrown to him until the 4th quarter last week. He wound up catching 2 for 58 yards. Kelsey gets his normal compliment, but they have they got in the red zone 4 times and didn't score anything but field goals last week. I just don't like the decisions they're making. Something's that they're asleep at the switch. I mean, they're early in the game. Hill caught a touchdown pass. He didn't realize that he had caught it. Andy Reid, I don't know what he was looking at, but he didn't throw the handkerchief, and they went on, and it was a touchdown. They let get away from him early. That whole team looks like they're sleepwalking through the season. I don't like them.
I agree. I don't know if they're just trying to change it up and not. It doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make sense their game plan, their play calls, it's like they're sleepwalking. I agree with that. And Miami.
How many points did they score last week? 22?
Yeah, this isn't the normal Kansas City Chief team that we saw last year, that's for sure. Miami Dolphins are playing. I mean, they had a great season. They're well coached. Flores has done a great job down there with this team.
Yeah. Howard, who was supposed to be hurt, apparently is okay, and he's got 8 interceptions this year. He's having a Pro Bowl year, and he's okay. And they've got a couple of decent receivers, but I don't think Tua is a match for And by the way, Gordon was the guy who really wrecked Kansas City last week for Denver. And Denver's defense is better than Miami's defense. I don't think Kansas City's going to have a problem with Miami. I think Miami has injuries right now at guard, on offense, and at linebacker on defense. And they are, against Cincinnati, they didn't score very much. I think, I just don't think that Kansas City is, I think they're going to wake up in this game. They know how to win, and I think Miami. This is a big game for Miami because New England and Buffalo we haven't talked about yet. Buffalo right now is in great shape. They're playing very well. Miami needs this if they're going to stay in the race.
Yeah, it's a very important game.
And Kansas City has to win. Because if they don't win, they're risking home field.
Right. That's right. Not that I want to talk about the Jets and the Seahawks, because it's a 13, 14-point line. But what, in your opinion, what has happened to the Seahawks? I mean, their offensive line has fallen apart. Russell Wilson is just not playing well. Of course, when your offensive line doesn't play well, it definitely affects the quarterback play. They have fallen off so much from the beginning of the year, and they're averaging like 35 points a game in the last 4 games. They've looked 4 or 5 games. They're actually 2-3 in the last 5 games. Have not looked good.
Their last 2 games, they've scored in the 20s, I think, or less. Hey, last week, they scored 12 points?
Yeah, they did not look. Yeah, that was not good. Yeah, the Giants.
And Washington crushed them, and Russell Wilson has now had 2 unproductive games in a row.
Yes.
You got to say that part of it is the defense is so bad, but they didn't play that bad last week. I mean, they gave up 17 points, and that's a game they're supposed to win. And they're playing Washington. But Washington, remember, as I told you before that game last week, and I had that game, they lead the league in sacks. He's getting no protection. He's on his back all the time, and they can't protect him, and he has no running game to help him out with. So there's so much pressure on him that he's just feeling it. And what are they? They scored 12 points last week, and he looks confused. Somebody else pointed that out. I think it was Boomer Esiason on their show. He said that he looks confused. It's interesting. Russell Wilson looks confused.
Yeah, if Boomer knows more about football than I'll ever know. He does look confused. The offensive line is terrible, constantly under pressure. The Giants were all after him. They just got after him a lot. He gets sacked a lot. He gets hit a lot. And he's made some bad decisions as well. So that's where the confused part comes in. Not good. Not good at all. I'm not going to...
The Jets, what happened to them last week was brutal. Here I want to talk about Las Vegas. Las Vegas was so lucky to win that game. How do you not protect the end zone on the last play of the game?
Yeah, Greg Williams, I'll tell you. Well, he got canned.
Well, something else. Gase is the guy who's overall responsible for it.
Well, Gase cannot possibly keep his job going next year. I mean, how could they possibly keep him? He was a mess in Miami. I mean, you know that. You lived down there when that was going on.
I talked to Norv Turner a couple of days ago because his son is the offensive coordinator with Washington, and Washington right now is playing very well. Very well. They lead the league in sacks, and he said that the thing with Washington, they lost the running back, which is not going to help them go forward. But they're going to be, they should do well at home this week.
Actually,
and but what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to they're going to have to use the tight ends a lot in this game, according to Norv.
Yeah, Washington's playing at San Francisco this week, but they're in Arizona because that's where San Francisco's playing. And,
I mean, that's the team that Washington being favored at San Francisco. Gibson is the guy who's hurt.
Jesus Christ.
So, but the number one in sacks, their offensive line is very good. And they're, like I said, they're going to, according to Norv, they're going to use the tight ends a lot. San Francisco is a team that mystifies me. The quarterback, Mullins, had a horrible game last week. I thought that the combination of speed and power, their use of the fullback and their use of Samuels was going to carry them last week, and yet they were never in their game last week.
Yeah, they. Well, I don't know if Garoppolo.
Mullins is good for 2 to 3 turnovers a game.
Yeah, I guess they really do miss Garoppolo. I mean, that's obvious because Mullen is very inconsistent. He'll have a game or two that's good, but not consistent enough to be a pro starting quarterback.
I want to mention the team I think that's playing the best right now in the league, and that's New Orleans. In their last 5 games, they've given up an average of 10 points a game. They have 9 straight wins. They've become a great running team. Hill is doing just enough. He came up with 2 touchdowns last week against Atlanta. But their defense, they've averaged actually 11 points a game in their last 5 games. And their defense right now is playing as well as anybody. And Murray and Kamara give them a great running game. And Hill can run besides the 2 of them. And now they play Philadelphia, who
they're a mess.
Is going to hurt the quarterback.
Philadelphia.
Going against that defense is not going to help them any. And they got more injuries now. They lost a linebacker, a guard, and a safety. Sly, their best defensive back, is out. So, I think you got to like New Orleans this week. They're playing well on the road and at home. And they're playing great. And Breeze is getting ready to come back probably next week.
Yeah, that's what I read. Well, Pittsburgh and the Bills are our late Sunday night game, and that should be a hell of a game. The Bills are right. Bills are 2.5-point favorite in the game. It's not much of a road trip for the Steelers. They're not that far away from Buffalo. So, And the Steelers are coming off their first loss, and Bills look great.
I called Larry Little after the game to congratulate him for still being the only unbeaten. And but Pittsburgh was originally favored in this game, and all the money's coming in on Buffalo. Well, Buffalo right now, Allen has had 5 300-yard-plus games. But the thing with it to make Buffalo so tough now is the way their defense has come around. In their last 5 games, they have 19 sacks and 10 takeaways. And they're playing a Pittsburgh team that's not right. You know, without Bush and without Johnson, not Johnson, without Bush and without their other defensive player who's out. That's killing them. And Dunn doesn't look right. He missed another practice yesterday. I think he's got problems. Snell is their running game, and he's not doing all that much. And they just, with Johnson and Claypool, those are and Ebron, those are his passing choices. But he's starting off slow and getting slower in games. And they're not doing a particularly good job of protecting him. Right now, Buffalo is playing very well.
Buffalo's
I guess
playing.
That's why the numbers going their way.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Pouncey, the center for Pittsburgh, and James Conner, the running back, they're both probable to come back this week. But they are missing Dupree and Edmonds and Gentry and Bush.
Yeah, Dupree and Bush are the 2 big losses on defense.
Yeah. And Buffalo is, like you said, the quarterback he's really rounded into shape. He's really growing. The coaching has done a really good job with him. He's becoming more accurate. He has a monster arm. And he runs the ball very well. He's a big guy. He's, 6'5"? He's a big guy. Yeah. So it's a huge game. Buffalo's dangerous right now. They stay healthy. They're very dangerous. And
they're going to win the division if they keep winning.
Damn right. Oh, definitely. I mean, Miami's on their tail, but Miami has a tough one this week. And then, of course, on Monday night, we have the Ravens against the Browns. And the Ravens are a 1-point favorite. Browns came off beating Tennessee last week, but, well, I don't know. 2 quarterbacks that you really don't know game to game what you're going to get out of the 2 quarterbacks in this game.
Oh, I disagree with you. I think your Mayfield right now is playing great. And it's because they've got such a good running game, and they're doing a great coaching job with him. He hasn't turned the ball over in a few weeks now. He doesn't make mistakes, and they're using their play action well. And I've been riding that team every week. And what are they? 8-3 now?
9. 9-3.
9-3. And I right now think he's playing as well as the Baltimore quarterback is. He'll make mistakes. This guy is playing mistake-free, smart football, and with the 2 running backs that they have right now, they have the top 2 running back. They have the top running back combination in the league, and they're just playing very smart football. And their defense has got their best guy playing well. And I think right now that I think Cleveland can beat this team. Baltimore can't they can't beat the elite teams right now. And there's none. I think people are overlooking how well Cleveland is playing.
They played a couple games in some really bad weather in Cleveland, and neither side. Neither club that was playing in that terrible wind and rain and everything that they had, You didn't see much, but last week, Baker Mayfield looked the best I've seen him in the pros since he left Oklahoma.
He played well the week before, too.
Who'd they play the week before, Hank? I can't remember.
I don't remember. All I remember was he didn't have a turnover, and they ran the hell out of the ball.
They do that well. The coach is doing a good job there. A very good job.
Yeah.
So this should be a good one. A good Monday night. We've got a lot of really good games this week, a lot of meaningful games. I'm excited. Hank, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good week.
You too. Stay well.
Amazon Prime members now get free grocery delivery with a minimum order. You'll get your groceries with 2-hour delivery. So in that time, you can finally figure out where the biblioteca is, learn how to play the acoustic guitar, and I guess get a puka shell necklace. Do a makeup tutorial, but realize halfway contouring is hard, and you're beautiful just as you are. Whatever it is you're doing with your time, your shopper will be carefully picking out your favorite organic meats, produce, dairy, and snacks while providing contactless delivery to your door. Free 2-hour grocery delivery, now with Prime.
When you change your floor, it changes the whole room. Right now, save more on the floor of your dreams from LL Flooring. Save up to $500 on top of our already low prices. With a purchase of $1,500 or more, you'll receive a digital Visa gift card rebate. Visit llcashback.com for details. Choose from our selection of quality floors and get special financing. Lumber Liquidators is now LL Flooring. These are the floors homes are built on.